Hey, yo, you already know how we do. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. Chicago, what's going on in the building? How y'all feeling today, Chicago? As always, man, y'all know we got the squad in the building. The man always ready to go and put a show on. Stefan the Don Line one to my right.
Hey, yo, what's going on?
Always ask who's better. It's Mr. Two Letters. If you knew better, you would do better. AD's in the building. And of course, the pettiest man alive, Petty Casanova, Mr. P Kid.
I swear I don't know why this thing is still doing what it's doing, but it's doing what it's doing.
So we're going to make it do what it do.
We're going to make it do what it do, baby.
I have no idea how frustrating that is.
At the end of the day, we're going to make it do what it do, man. Hey, listen, if y'all are new to the channel, man, please like the video. Please subscribe to the page because we do talk Chicago sports weekly. We don't want you to miss the things, so make sure that you hit that bell. We got a lot to talk about today, man. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to get into. Listen, football season is upon us, ladies and gentlemen. It's Bear Down. Y'all see the new Bears merch? Hold on, let me get a zoom in here real quick, kid. No disrespect here, but let me get a zoom in on the new merch here. Come on now, y'all see we talking Chicago sports because this is the only show talking Chicago sports. How Chicago talk. So y'all get in tune with that new merch in the building, man. Oh, you gonna drop the is he tweaking or not already? You gonna drop the is he tweaking or not already? That's what we doing. I bet.
Had to get you with one.
We appreciate y'all for tuning in, man. We appreciate y'all for rocking with us. Listen, we got Bears football. We got Bears breakdown this week. Can't believe this Sunday. Bears taking on the former in the division, Matthew Stafford. Gonna get into that and then get into pretty much our prediction for Chicago Bears football throughout the season. Where do we think the Bears are gonna end up with the final roster that we know what it is now? And then, of course, we're going to have our segment, The Fantasy Whispers, where they come through and they talk that talk and tell us how to build these fantasy teams to be the best they can be.
And in case you missed last week, I do have the best team out of the room. We didn't include AD.
We didn't include AD.
Our fault, AD. We didn't include you.
We didn't include AD.
I'm going to tell you this. I got a better team than you two. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. So at this point, I just want you to understand, I may not win, but I'm guaranteeing none of these dudes do either. So at this point,
Mans has not played one game.
He ain't played one game. He the hypest one out of everybody.
Hey, listen, Mans ain't played one game, but if you just have to look at it, it's no way I lose to Ringo. For sure.
Hey,
No way I lose to Ringo.
At a minimum, they did say Ringo was the worst out of the three. So
But watch though.
Hey, you on your Iman Shumpert. Bro, what is you on?
Man's got the best team. Hey, he's a Madden king. First of all, go check out my man Ringo. Getting back online, doing his thing right there. Go check him out. Go plug yourself real quick, bro.
Yo, check me out on Twitch at Stefan the Don. Ranked 186 in the world right now on Xbox. Current GM Madden 22. Go check me out if y'all want to get a game in. Just go look me up and we can run it.
Hey, listen, I got 5 on whoever challenges Ringo. That's how it's
on them, not for Ringo. I got 5 on
whoever challenges Ringo. That's how it
All I know is this. He will never be able to watch me in Madden. he won't watch me in Madden. He might give me a 2K because I ain't played. I've not played in 2K respectfully.
Yeah.
And like a year. I would say I took last year right. So he might watch me. But Madden, nah.
Ooh, I ain't never admitting to getting washed at nothing. I don't care if I'm terrible at it. You're not gonna wash me. Man, let's get into this conversation, man. I mean, we got Bears versus LA week 1 preview. We now know that the starters, Andy Dalton. I mean, there's a little kicking the little guys there. But listen, the Bears versus LA has surprisingly not always gone LA's way. When I'm looking at this game, when I'm looking at coming into this game, I'm gonna tell you first things first. The Bears defense is not gonna look as vanilla as we saw in the preseason. It's not going to look as terrible as we saw in the preseason. Is the Bears offense, that offensive line is yet to be proven, but I'm going to be real with you. Out of anybody, and I would honestly put money on it just because I've watched the games close enough. And maybe with Andy Dalton back there's a difference. But the Bears have done an excellent job versus Aaron Donald. We always say Aaron Donald's back there. He's going to kill the guy on the other side. Aaron Donald's going to take his head off. Bears quarterbacks rarely get taken out by Aaron Donald.
I'm gonna take your word on it. I haven't done the research, so I'm gonna have to, if you're gonna get up here and say it, I believe that you did the research. I haven't really heard of any Aaron Donald dominating us. So, I mean, he's always something to look out for. But I don't remember a time in which you were like, oh yeah, he definitely murdered our QB. Like I don't remember that.
And that's what I'm saying. Like if their biggest weapon, for the most part, we've done a pretty good job with. And so, I mean, when I'm looking at Sunday's game, when I'm looking at, how to match up. I mean, listen, there's Bears fans that are going to be all gloom and doom, but I'm going to be real with you. I see a lot of ways that the Bears come away with a W in this game. I see a lot of ways that the Bears come away with a W in this game. You're facing Matthew Stafford, who's not a quarterback that the Bears, first off, haven't dominated, but the Bears have watched for years now. Yes, he's under a better system. He's with a better coordinator, with a better head coach, with a head coach. Let's just start there with a head coach. That's where you start the conversation at with him.
Can I ask you a question in relation to that? Because just like Justin Field, gives us a spark, and it kind of, travels through the entire team, right? The entire team wraps around it. Matt goes into that situation now. Do you think that him alone, the energy that he brings to that team alone, combined with the fact that they still have a top defense, do you think that, maybe we could be undershooting the fact that this is a dominant team rolling into here? Like, this is not the same team as previously.
No, and I don't. When I look at the Rams team, I don't take them lightly.
Mm-hmm.
But here's the thing that I've noticed when it comes to the NFL. Week 1 is the week where you can have a lot of crazy things happen. Week 1 is the week where you can get the big upset. I mean, think about Jacksonville won one game last season. It was week 1. You know what I'm saying? Like when I look at the chances that the Bears have, the familiarity that they have with this team, listen, how we've been playing the Rams Matt's entire time here pretty much. So Matt has a familiarity with them. Sean Desai's been watching them forever. He has a familiarity with them. Mm-hmm. To me, when I look at this Rams team, there's a lot of things that, listen, on paper, we supposed to get dominated, right? On paper, Jalen Ramsey, Aaron Donald, they don't got Sue no more.
Samson Abukum, Floyd.
Leonard Floyd on a revenge game tip. You know what I'm saying?
Leonard Floyd, the linebackers is OP.
Well.
They got. I'm no. Hold on.
Hey, AD.
I gotta stop you. Here's why. Say what you want to say about Matt Stafford when he was with the Lions. He's outside of Calvin Johnson.
Yeah.
He's never had these weapons.
Yeah. He got a game changer.
He has a running game for the first time in forever.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, if you look at the weapons that they got on the outside, Cooper Kupp, you want to talk about Alex Caruso?
Cooper Kupp is the Alex Caruso of the NFL.
Cooper Kupp is mad nice.
Hey, yo,
Cooper Kupp is mad nice.
Cooper Kupp is definitely that dude that you would just be looking at like, hey, yo, he's not supposed to be good, dog.
You like, oh, my man's got 100 yards. But nah, you got Cooper Kupp, Robert Woods. I mean, they got Deshaun Jackson.
Yeah.
Gerald Everett, they got weapons. I wouldn't necessarily sleep on that offense now, because now I feel like more so Sean McVay is looking at it like now I can finally push the ball down the field, which is kind of weird to say because he had Jared Goff.
Yeah.
I don't know what the disconnect was there, but if Aaron Rodgers is coming out and saying that Matthew Stafford been that dude, he just ain't been on the right team. All right, show me. Let's go.
Hey, AD, real quick, I can't hear you, bro.
You can't hear AD?
Yeah. Yep. I'm gonna jump in while we fix that real quick. Hey, now that here's my question now because you made a great point. They got Matt now. They had Jared Goff. Everyone kind of ribs on Goff. I kind of thought he was a pretty decent. We got a lot going on right there. We're gonna black that out for a second. Got some feedback going on the other side, but hey, it's all right. It's all right. A lot of feedback actually. So give me the thumbs up when you all are ready on that one. But realistically, I kind of look at the Rams now, and I know that they're a powerhouse, but realistically, let's do some checking. We'll do some checking. Go ahead, give me one time. No sir, no sir. I look at the Rams realistically, and I'm not scared of them. And ultimately, I heard an argument earlier where it's like, just like Pat said, Aaron Donald hasn't dominated us in the past. So the fact that we didn't throw Fields out there, to me, it kind of loses more weight considering the fact that now we have a more mobile QB. We have, hopefully someone that can actually get out of trouble. Give me a thumbs up when you're ready. Got you. Ringo, on that tip though, we got a couple games coming up. Not on Sunday, not just that. What do you think about the Cowboys? Since you're a Cowboys fan, what do you think about the Cowboys? What do you think about the Giants? This is the last week we kind of get to talk general sports because once the season starts for the Bears and the Bulls, we're all in. So let's talk a little general sports real quick.
Hey, listen, they to me they got the Maserati, but like legitimately it's rented. Like it looked pretty. Like they got a team where it's like somebody rent out a car for that girl and be like, "Yo, I bought this for you," but this a prank. You only got this for 2 hours. Like that. They look good for show. They look good for show for like the first 5 weeks of the year. They gonna be nice. They're gonna be nice. My thing is, can they keep this up to par? Because they've always had a good roster. It's not the points. It's just that the defense, and are they reliable when you need them to be?
Yeah.
That's just my question.
And realistically, for those who are just tuning in, this is again the last week we're gonna really be able to just dive deep into some general sports, kind of comparing our Bears to the rest of the league before the season starts. So if you're in the chat, if you are on the call in, please call into the show 855-908-5668. We want to hear you all tune in and let us know exactly how you feel about where we are and how we rank at this point. So realistically, we got Dak Prescott coming back. We got Matt on the new team. We got Brady about to run it back. We got Patrick Mahomes trying to come back and retake the throne and things of that nature. We got a lot of different narratives that could go on with this in this NFL. And then but all of that was overshadowed the day that we got a first round QB. With all that being said, do you think we have enough to compete and go the distance? We may not win. I'm not expecting Super Bowl, but can we go the distance with the next 2 years? Considering everyone else really having this comeback thing. Rigo, what you think?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't think that the Bulls have. The Bulls.
Oh, good lord!
No, I don't think the Bears.
Hey, what are you doing?
Yo, what are you doing? No, I don't think the Bears realistically have enough this season.
We got, I'm not trying to cut you off, Ringo, but it's a lot of static coming in on AD's mic. A lot of stacks overshadowing you right there.
So like I was saying, so basically, I don't think that they have enough this year to make the playoffs. So, in my estimation, I would say that the Bears will have to wait for next season because all the news that we've heard about Tevin Jenkins, you got a lot of guys out. Desmond Trufant went over to New Orleans. He went over to New Orleans. I don't even see where the third corner is coming from. To be honest, I mean we don't even know if Jalen Johnson's supposed to be the number one corner, but big question with that is can he stay healthy? I mean, there's a lot of questions surrounding this team. Not to mention the fact that we're avoiding this question of can they actually hold up because this Bears defense is old.
I like how the chat is like trying to reel us. So the one time we have some some technical difficulties. I see you, Don. I'm gonna get at you a little later, but going back to this other comment, which is what I was really trying to get to. Our defense, I agree with you. Our defense is old, and I also kind of agree with the statement that Don made. You know, one of our biggest things is Nagy. What is Nagy really going to do? And that's a shame that we don't have that much faith, and we kind of showed that over the last couple of lives. We have so little faith in what to expect from Nagy that we don't know whether or not it's going to finish strong or not. And so, ultimately he gets to control whether or not Justin is ready or not, things of that nature. And so I think I wouldn't say we're in the middle of the pack. I think we can be elite if he just decides to make a definitive move and say, hey, listen, this is the QB we're going to roll with and allow him to grow within that system. I think he's more talented than a lot of the QBs out there. And so even that's a great question. Are we going to have a good run game? He doesn't really call a lot of running plays. There's so many things I can poke holes at. And I don't want to get on that soapbox anymore because I've done it a lot. And I'm really trying to come into the season with an open mind. I don't want to come into the season saying, oh, Nagy didn't do this, Nagy didn't do that. I really want to give him the chance, seeing that he actually seems to be more involved with this process now and picking out his QB, doing things like that. But if the play calling seems real bad and it's a clear difference in how the game is played, if someone else gets the opportunity, then I'm going to be doubling back down on it. I really am. Pat, what's going on? You all right?
I think the interesting thing is that you got to look at how Matt handles David Montgomery. Mm-hmm. That's the thing that's very specific with it. Like it's about, we heard Matt talk about running the ball. You know what I'm saying? We heard Matt talking about, hey, this is a lot of times when you see guys running the ball, you see them running the ball later in the clock, or a lot of times when you see guys running the ball, you see them running it, and it's like you see them running it later in the fourth quarter because they've already got a good lead, and it's like, no, a lot of these teams, they're built on running the ball early.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these teams, you look at Tennessee, their entire game plan is run the ball first. And by the way, Ryan Tannehill can sling it a little bit, but at the end of the day, we want to run the ball. That's what it's got to come down to.
Absolutely. And those in the chat, please tune in. We want to hear your thoughts on the 855-908-5668. We are just talking about how we rank just doing some preview and general sports talk going into the season. Again, this is the last day we actually get to talk, just generally, because now we're going to be digging in deep. It's an exciting time in Chicago, man. We got a new look Bulls. We got a new look Bears. Hey, listen, bear down. We are in this bad boy.
Let me ask y'all this, and I want to ask the chat this, and if you, like he said, call into the show 855-908-5668. Let me ask y'all this question.
Check. Yo.
Who's the player that is inaugural? Who's the player? Not inaugural. That's the wrong word. That means the beginning. Who's the player that is? See, I try to use big words and it don't work in my favor. Who's the player that is? That's why I ain't Stephen A. Smith. The key for the Chicago Bears to come away with a win versus that's not. And let me put this caveat on it. That's not Justin Fields. Because you know how many calls we finna get about Justin Fields. The only way the Bears win is who's the player that's not Justin Fields that is the reason the Chicago Bears get a victory on Sunday Night Football? Let's start with the man that said nothing. AD, how you feeling?
As always, I've always kept the same energy with the Bears. Consistently, it is always will fall on our defense and the tight end position. So I believe all our leaders for the Bears all come from the defensive side of the ball, whether it's the middle linebacker or defensive end. So that means there's two players, right? That's either Khalil Mack and what's my man?
Roquan Smith.
Roquan Smith. So it's either one of them, and then it's going to be on Cole Kmet to step up because he's going to get a majority of those.
Cole is a good name. I'm not going to lie to you. Cole is a good name.
I like that one.
Cole is a real good name because listen, at the end of the day, Andy's gonna have to check down. no matter what we see, at a minimum, if we see this offensive line playing at a higher level, it's still really their first time all working together.
You know what? If I could just throw two names out there for me, just because we got a potential gunslinger at QB starting, and I think I trust that Justin can throw that ball down pretty far as well. Yeah. I think if Darnell Mooney takes the leap, he absolutely changes the game for us. You name any team that's had a dynamic wide receiver with a competent QB or one that can at least get on the ball, they've been in the game. Right, they've been in a game, and at the very least, it's an exciting game too. And so I look at it from multiple levels. Even if we're not necessarily dominating record-wise, is it a much better game? Can we see improvement from our different positions and stuff like that? That's what I look at because I don't look at the Rams as like the Rams is not a scrub team. The Rams have a good defense. They got a good offense now. They have a better QB than both of our QBs. Let's be honest. Matt is better than Justin Fields. He's better than Andy Dalton right now. Yeah. It is what it is. And so I look at this team as like, do we compete? If we compete well with, I would consider them a powerhouse of a team. I think it relies on how much separation Darnell Mooney can get because for some odd reason, A-Rob gets shut down too easy for me. He just does. So it's going to be on Mooney, and it's going to be, I would say, play calling and how they use their TEs. I think that's a good one because Kmet, I mean, but it's so many different variables to that, though. It really is.
Yeah.
But those are my two. I would go Cole Kmet and Darnell Mooney.
In this game in particular, Ramsey is going to be tied up with Mooney because he said what he said.
I don't know if he's actually. By the way, 90 people in here, like 20 likes. Let's get them likes up before kids start. Kids start playing old people music. Let's not make them do it. I would say that when you're going into this game, when you're trying to see, I mean, really, we're it's sad to say, but we're going into this game really just trying to see what we got. We're really trying to see what we got, and so like to say that Ramsey's going to be on Darnell Mooney, they not stupid. Like, yeah, you could talk the talk of, Mooney got him last year. He's gonna want to get him back. That's what's gonna be. No, Mooney. I mean, Ramsey know who King is over there. Ramsey know who the 1,300-yard receiver is that hasn't had a quarterback yet, and now listen, is going to have two quarterbacks better than any he's ever had, probably going all the way back to high school.
I agree, but you know what rules in football?
It's a little volume for me, AD.
I said ego rules in football. It's either a coach
over 100 in the chat
on a defensive end where they feel like, no, I don't care what everybody else says. I'm gonna be that guy to stop him.
Yeah,
or I'm gonna be that coach to coach him up to make him Pro Bowler.
But Mooney's the two though. There's no ego that like Ramsey's that dude. Jalen Ramsey, we say best corner in the league.
Yeah, and that's why I say it's on Darnell Mooney to kind of take that leap because it's so far. If you just look at it and you look at what we've been seeing, you shut down A-Rob, you shut down our deep threat, you shut down a lot, realistically. But it doesn't take away from the fact that Mooney had a good rookie season. It doesn't take away from that at all. I think he didn't have any drops. What was the stat?
No, he had. I think he ended up with like 2 drops on the season. Like, which is listen,
he was getting
thrown. He was getting thrown the ball enough that 2 drops is like, oh snap, this is impressive. Like,
this is impressive. Yeah,
it's the big thing with what the Bears have to do coming into this season and coming into this first game is you can't play a conservative game. The problem we have with the Bears right now is, I mean, honestly, what's our offensive style? Nobody said nothing. Nobody said nothing. You said that's the problem the Bears have right now. The Bears don't even have an identity.
Well, that could work because maybe LA don't know either.
But the thing is,
like, look, if I'm being an extreme optimist, maybe they don't know either. They don't know where's this 20 running?
He said,
hey, dog.
He said, hey, that can work in our favor because maybe LA don't know either.
Hey, Ringo, I did forget about you, my man. Who are the game changers for you? Did we get you or did we miss you?
For me, I would say Mooney, but I'm with you, bro. It don't have to be Mooney and Cole Kmet because Cole Kmet isn't gonna burn you deep. And I've watched enough. I watched enough Notre Dame games to know like he doesn't have the speed.
Yeah.
So
he a bruiser.
Andy,
here I'm gonna get this thing and bust you in your mouth.
Legitimately, what he needs to do is get.
I just thought we need to put our general pause on that one. Just me? Okay. All right. I didn't know it was just me. That's my bad.
Yeah. So I feel like what Cole Kmet got to do is just basically get on his Jason Witten.
Yeah.
Like I'm finna hit these 5 yards, bot you out, and then I'm finna drag you for another 3.
What is that? Yak?
Yards after catch. Yeah.
Yards after catch. Like
here's the thing that and I'm gonna be real with you. The Bears' success to me is based on one player.
Vanessa, we're gonna get to that question. It's a good question, by the way. We're gonna get right back to it.
The Bears' success to me is based on Khalil Mack and Khalil Mack alone.
He's many.
Because if Mack is getting home, the game changes. Think about the biggest games we've seen out of the Bears in the last couple years. When Mack was getting to Tom Brady last season, when Mack was getting to Aaron Rodgers, when Mack was all of a sudden, guess what? Kyle Fuller's a superstar cornerback. He's a top 10 cornerback in the NFL. Guess what? Eddie Jackson's taking balls to the house.
Pause.
Leave it alone. You're right. That's what I'm saying though. Like Khalil Mack to me, if Khalil Mack, and listen, Matthew Stafford's already having nightmares about Khalil Mack coming off the edge because that Rams offensive line ain't exactly the prettiest thing in the world either. But if Khalil Mack is getting home to Matthew Stafford, we know how Matthew Stafford is when he's getting hit. Now he's a guy that's gonna stand in there and take them hits. I'm gonna be real with you. Matthew Stafford has always reminded me of a more poised Jay Cutler. He gonna stand in there. He gonna take them shots.
You've been throwing the Jay Cutler line around a lot lately for a lot of.
Hey, listen, I'm with it on Jay Cutler. Jay Cutler was our best QB we had ever had, and we got that man. No, listen, he went through 3 offensive coordinators in 4 years.
Tell Mike Martz I said go himself. Whoa. Mike.
He had when he finally got receivers, he had no O-line. When he had O-line, he had no receivers. Devin Hester was one of his receivers. Just throw that out there. Devin Hester, look up Devin Hester right now, he's not known for catching a rock. Let's just know that.
Hester for a long time was his number 1 receiver. Listen, that's that Jerry Angelo. Hey, we got a quarterback. Give him nothing.
Hey, I remember he threw to Hester. Hester caught it and got popped so hard. I was like, he ain't gonna get up. I just remember it. Listen, whatever you want to say. But I will say this because Vanille had some great questions in regards to the short leash that Andy Dalton was on, right?
Yeah.
And he had a question for me, had a question for the team, and then specifically Ringo. And so we'll start with Ringo. Now that the report has came out, Andy Dalton's on a short leash, things of that nature. How do you think that impacts the team? And when would you insert Fields and open up the playbook for the Bears?
Who said Andy Dalton was on a short leash?
This is based off a report. He said Josina's report. I'm going to take his word for it at this part, but we'll see.
I mean, listen, we know what Matt Nagy's plan is. Matt's told it to us. We don't want to believe it. Hey, that's on us at this point. Listen.
Saw what I said?
Listen, when somebody tell you who they are, believe them. Matt has said all year, hey, listen, no, we like Justin. We really like Justin. We're really excited for Justin. But Andy Dalton started.
He can say that. That's nice.
Has he done anything to deviate from that plan though?
The only thing he's done to deviate from that plan that pisses me off. All right, go ahead.
I'm trying to. I'm gonna explain this again the best way possible that I can. Cause I tried to do this last time.
Yep.
Matt Nagy is finessing y'all. Justin Fields is gonna play the second half of this game. No matter what anybody said. I'm telling you right now. By the time this first game is over with, especially if the Bears get smacked, if Justin Fields ain't named the starter by week 2, that locker room is gone.
Oh, can I say something real quick?
By week 2?
Can I dog. Look. Hey, Ringo. Can you see the screen?
Yeah, he said. Yeah, he said. Is he tweaking or not?
Hey, here's for you too.
Hey, the caps are in the chat. The caps are in the chat.
You can say what you want to say. Last year, when y'all got Nick Foles, how many games did I say? How many games did I say? Trubisky was gonna play before they threw Foles out there.
I mean, you called that one. It was easy to call.
I give you that. I think this is the thing we know about Matt, right? This is the one thing we know about Matt. He will set you up to fail.
What? God dang.
Listen,
I was not expecting you to say that.
Listen, he will. But here's the thing. He will give you the I'll say this. Trubisky didn't help himself, and I'm not going back to this conversation, but he didn't help himself. But can I say that play in and play out, Matt Nagy is calling it. Now, listen, maybe he's not throwing people under the bus. Maybe he's just really bad at play calling, which could also be true, which I also think is true. But he didn't call a good game for Trubisky. And when he got the guy he wanted, he started calling the plays he wanted. The problem was then he didn't have – when he had – I think I said this last season. When he had the team that needed the Nick Foles quarterback behind it, he had Trubisky in there. And when he had Nick Foles finally in, the team was broken. Injury wise, you know what I'm saying? So to me, like I'm looking at like Matt finally got his guy in there, but his team wasn't in a position to be successful. When I'm looking at what the Bears can do this season, I think he's seen something work. When Matt sees something work, what do we know about him?
He fixates on it.
He's not gonna move off of it.
He fixates on it. Yeah.
He's not gonna move off of it. If we see Andy Dalton get hurt, that's when you will see Justin Fields. Or if he just looks so horrible, he has no other option.
Whew.
But
even the chat.
If he is able to play at a older veteran level, Carson Palmer when he left, if he's able to play like that, he's not going to leave. He's not going to pull him because he's seen Alex Smith work with Patrick Mahomes. He's seen that. He's been a part of that. He's seen that work. He's not going to move off of what he thinks in his mind works 100%.
And that's where the fallacy of Matt. That's the problem with Matt. He is so rigid.
I don't disagree. I agree.
So rigid.
Can I ask y'all a question though, real quick before I'm gonna let you continue, kid.
All right, Kanye.
First off, Beyonce had album of the year. Drake got album of the year.
You got the comment of the day right now. You cut me off because you got the comment of the day. I got you.
Look. Alex Smith had 3 All-Pros behind that.
I don't disagree.
Line,
I'm not saying that you're wrong.
Are there 3 All-Pros behind this offensive line?
I'm not saying Matt Nagy's right. I'm telling you what do we know? Let's deal with Matt Nagy from a place of knowledge. What do we know about Matt Nagy?
He is stubborn.
He's stubborn, and when he sees something work, he's going to stick with it.
Bro, that's what I'm saying. Believe what he say.
Believe what
whatever.
He
man.
is who we think he is. No, for real, no cap at all. This is the NFL. This is not college football.
Yeah.
This is not a 2-quarterback offense, any of that. We just said we don't know what the offense is. Bro.
He don't know.
Andy Dalton is the quarterback. Pat said it. Barring energy. Barring he gets smacked upside the head.
You said barring the injury. Energy.
Barring any injury to this man. And of course, we not wishing no ill will on him. But unless he gets hurt, that's the quarterback for the year. He is interviewing for a job. Right. He has incentive to play well. The only thing that's gonna mess him up is who? Matt Nagy.
Yeah.
Cause he gonna get the play and he gonna be like, dude, for real. You know how Nick Foles was telling him, I don't have no time. He gonna be saying the same thing, man. You better check.
Yeah, and you know what? But I do have to agree with Ken.
Somebody run this thing.
Yeah,
I have to agree with Ken. We have been associated with Dalton with as being a high turnover QB, which is what we need. We need someone who's going to be serviceable and protect the football. I'm not expecting him to break 4,000 yards and stuff like that, but I am expecting him to actually put us in a position to win a game. And if we are being honest with ourselves, if we're going to sit there and give an honest critique of the player, he did a decent job with a depleted Cowboys team. And he kept them in a couple of games. Like if you go back into it, and so
here's the part that scares you though when you see him coming in. And I understand why people are scared about him coming into week one, because listen, the Rams defense is nothing to scoff at. The part that scares you about him is Matt Nagy and the Chicago Bears, in our mind, because they made the playoffs last season, are a better team right now. Mm-hmm. Our offensive line has not shown us that they're better than what they had in Dallas. Mm-hmm. Our wide receiver core is absolutely not better than what they have in Dallas. What is going to breed that?
I would say that the team that Andy inherited,
wide receiver core, that they got. I will give you Amari Cooper. You telling me that Gallup is better than Mooney?
Mooney's got to show me. He's got to show me more than the rookie year. Let me tell you why.
Can I hear the question again? Like the statement you were making was in regards to Andy Dalton, Cowboys being better at the time.
So this is what I'm saying. The Chicago Bears, we think the Bears are a better team because the Bears made the playoffs last year. The Bears made the playoffs last season. Our offensive line hasn't shown us that they're going to protect Dalton any better than what happened in Dallas. Now, in Dallas, it was injury caused. Here, it's a talent deficiency. But it hasn't shown us it's going to protect him better than Dallas. I would say that we don't have the better receiving core overall. Because if Mooney comes out and shows me in the second year that he can do it again, then absolutely. Mooney's better than Gallup. But I've seen Anthony Miller come through here. You got to show it to me. And he's coming off of an injury. So, and I'm not saying he can't. I'm just saying that, like, here's the thing with me. When we're looking at a situation that happened and we're saying we're not that. What is different?
I can't say what's necessarily different, off the top of my head and just for the pace of the show. Yeah. But what I will say is healthy, we are much better. He has more pieces to work with than he did with a depleted Cowboy team, which is when he got behind the helm. And a lot of it kind of falls on our play calling. Because if we have balanced play calling that actually tries to get the running game involved, then we can try to establish some type of dual threat and not put all the pressure on Andy. If we are just solely like removing the run game from as an option, then it's going to be a tough go regardless. I think it's going to be a tough go for any QB with this team, especially with a bad O-line. But if you have to make teams respect you and respect your play call, and for a lot of different reasons and what we've heard, what we've seen over the year of calling, we got really predictable. Really predictable. Like they knew what we were going to do. And so it's a lot of that kind of falls on how Nagy schemes it up. I'm gonna be honest with you. Because
100%.
I can't really say much. And I hate to sound like I'm beating a dead horse here, but it really does. Like so much falls on Nagy that it really does. We are make or break with his decisions right now. We're make or break if he decides to call all season. We'll make a break if he sticks with Andy Dalton too long. We'll make a break if he puts Justin Fields too early. Right? If he puts him in too early, that could be a problem. Right? And so it's like a catch-22 for him. And so it's a horrible position to be in, to be honest with you.
I'm gonna be real with you. I think that the longer he waits to put Justin in the game, I feel like it's detrimental because he knows that the Justin pick was his pick, so it's basically like he goes, it's Justin goes, so he's just like, yo, my job is safe. My job is safe for the 8 weeks. And I'm not going to throw him out.
Here's the thing is,
he can't just pull him though.
Y'all got 6 weeks. Like,
this is the thing. His job's safe. We got to stop saying that.
Is it?
We got at 100% is safe. You know why? What did Pat Mahomes say last season? This is what we as fans don't pay attention to. There is a thing to learning a system. We see quarterbacks come in and be great off of talent, but there is a thing to learning a system. What did Pat Mahomes say last season?
He finally got the system after 2 seasons.
He won a Super Bowl.
That was 2 seasons ago. He said I didn't read.
No. This season, or last season, he said it finally clicked. The system that we're running finally clicked, and I feel like I can do so much more now. That was last season. He won a Super Bowl before that. Because he won the Super Bowl, we're like, oh my God. Guess what? That's a generational talent. I hope we have one in Justin Fields. But it does take time to learn a system. You can't just throw Justin out there. Now, is it going to be better for him to learn on the spot? Maybe. But you can't just throw Justin out there and say, hey, look, figure it out at an NFL level, because then you get on the flip side what we saw from Sam Darnold last season. I'm seeing ghosts out there. You know why? Because he was getting his head took off every other play.
But that was like that when he got there.
Is our O-line going to do better?
Bro,
they actually have a better O-line.
Hey, they
actually have a whipping O-line.
Just mad nice on that.
Yeah.
But it's literally like everybody, and I don't mean to say this, but it's like, are y'all trying to make the playoffs or are y'all not? That's my question.
And I would say this,
because I'm looking at it like y'all got 6 weeks. Bakhtiari is.
Why do we invite him on the show if every time we're talking Bears or Bulls, this man uses y'all, he never says we. Like, listen, you can have a good jersey game with whoever you want, but when you talk about the team, it's our team.
Just deal with it.
Daniel Jones is your starting QB, right?
The East, that's the issue.
Yeah, you got it real easy over there in the NFC East.
Top 500 team still make playoffs.
We went in 7 games and we hosted
7.
We hosted.
He says
7 playoff games.
Over here in the NFC North, we have 3.5 teams to contend with.
He says 7
being the half teams.
Hey Pat,
we got Minnesota contend with and Green Bay.
Hey Pat,
let me speak on this.
Where's the likes at?
That part too. Let me speak on this. Nagy has to call a legit game to even justify pulling Andy Dalton at all. Like, and I'm not talking trick plays. I'm not talking double reverses.
Yeah.
I'm talking let this man read and do what he do. He a veteran. If Matt Nagy chases a veteran QB out of this game with his play calling, we know who the issue is. And it ain't the quarterback position.
Well, I mean, he did that last season. I mean, listen, we know Nagy's play calling is inconsistent. We know it's not rhythmic. You know what I'm saying? Like
that was on Mitch when he got pulled off. I remember the play.
That
man stared him down.
That plays on Mitch. But remember the Tampa Bay game when Nick Foles got rolling. Nick Foles is no huddle. Let's get it. They can't keep up with us. We going dot. Hey, let's go. Hey, get back in the line. Dot. Let's go. We on the dot. He threw 3. And what does Matt Nagy do? What's Nagy do next? Oh, whoa. Hey, time out there. We're getting too many plays in a row. We gotta breathe. And instantly, Nick Foles like, what are you doing? What are you doing? We gotta what are you talking about? We had it.
I honestly feel like Nick Foles is the QB who gets the worst out of all of it.
If you want to rattle off those throws, cool. Run the ball. If you see that the receivers is tired, run the ball.
No, but
he can run it like that and run the offense he want to run. He run the air raid.
Here's the part that scares you with Nagy. Is he going to let's be real, he's putting chains on a dude that you brought in to do this, that won a Super Bowl and an MVP. Now, am I saying that Nick Foles is the end all be all? No, but the dude that's the most accomplished quarterback we've had in the building, you put chains on him. Are you going to do that when Andy Dalton gets rolling? Are you going to do that when Justin Fields gets in there and maybe he gets rolling once he gets a grasp of the offense? You don't need to micromanage. What have I said about the Bulls this season? For the first time ever, the players get to dictate what's going to happen on the court, not upper management, not a bad coach. Billy Donovan's a good coach. What's going to go out there is the players are going to play his system, and if they execute it well, we'll have one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference. Matt Nagy has to take that same approach. If you're not going to let your players play, what's the point? It's not chess. Well, I guess it is chess, but it's not chess where you're physically moving the pieces. You have to let them do what they're going to do and let their talent show. Otherwise, you're just holding them back.
Now, I want to shift gears for a second because we've been talking a lot about talent. Obviously, we're talking about, when to plug in Justin Fields and things of that nature. I wanted to actually look at this from a different perspective as far as legacies are concerned. All right, can we do that for a second? So here's the question. Trey Lance, Mac Jones, we got, what is that, Trevor Lawrence. Some of these QBs are going to start right away.
Yeah.
Right? Start right away. Does this whole debacle really impact Justin Fields' potential legacy? Now, here's why I asked that, right? He's still a rookie. He's going to make rookie mistakes. We know he has the potential to be great, but he's still going to make rookie mistakes. If he gets in mid-season and just stinks it up a game or two, since we're we have recency bias, Mac Jones is going to take his hits early and probably smooth out toward the end of the season. How do you think the fan base will handle that if he stinks it up early and finally getting those real reps? And we see other rookie QBs doing well.
Listen, same way they did with Mitch's first year, same way they did with any backup quarterback that we've had get in there for 4 games his first year. Same way that they did with Justin in preseason. He's young. He'll learn. He'll figure it out.
Okay.
Here's the thing. He's young. Will learn. He'll figure it out. Is fine. If he learns and figures it out. The problem with Mitch now, maybe it could have been a Nagy issue. Maybe it's a Mitch issue, one way or the other. But I think that the difference is, like, Justin Fields has always been the best quarterback out of the bunch. We might take Trevor Lawrence higher in the draft, but I tell you what, Trevor Lawrence wasn't the one on the winning side of that game. I tell you what, Trey Lance took the L. Who else he played that was big in that mug? Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask was throwing them things though.
Kyle Trask was a
Kyle Trask. And let's be clear, we all thought that we were going to get Kyle Trask.
Hey, I was definitely preparing.
We all thought we were going to get Kyle Trask
to come across the screen.
Hey,
but I mean,
I'm not mad at it. He's just not Justin Fields, but I'm not mad at it.
But to me, like, Justin has outperformed all of the guys that we are looking at as the number one guys in the league right now. I don't think
for a rookie.
For the rookie.
Is this facts right here, y'all? Did Shanahan already say he's going to play Lance both this season?
Not Trey Lance is they got a specific.
They got a package for.
They got a package for Trey Lance, but Trey Lance is going to play.
But he's going to get game time. He's going to get real game time action.
He's going to get actual game time reps.
Yeah.
Which I'm not mad at.
They're going to play him like they play.
I'm not mad at that either.
Yeah, they gonna give him a Taysom Hill package pretty much. But the thing that's, and I'm getting some feedback from you, kid. The thing that's interesting to me is terrible. The thing that's interesting to me is, like, when I'm looking at the top quarterbacks, the fact that we're saying that Justin is going to be behind or he's not going to get those in-game reps, nobody says that about Aaron Rodgers.
Different time.
I mean, listen.
And Brett Favre.
I don't disagree, but nobody looks at Aaron Rodgers' legacy and says he didn't play as long.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? If Justin comes out and he has multiple 40 to 50 touchdown seasons, we're not gonna remember that he didn't play his rookie year.
Oh yeah, I agree with you.
This is huge right now. You know what I'm saying?
I agree with you.
This is a big deal right now. But if Justin Fields is as advertised, which I think he will be, if Justin Fields is our franchise quarterback, we're not going to remember the fact that Justin didn't play his rookie season in a season that you had offensive line issues, and a season that you had questions on the defense, and a season that most of us believe, listen, there's some games in there that the Bears should get and might get, but it's going to take a lot for them just to make the playoffs this season, let alone go on a Super Bowl run.
For some odd reason, I don't think the playoffs is our objective here. I don't think we are expecting, and I don't think we want to push this team to the brink to try to edge. Now, obviously, if we have the opportunity, of course, you go for it. Yeah. But for some odd reason, I don't get the feel that it's like playoff or Super Bowl or bust or anything like that, or like we really want to compete in that level. This is really just developing our younger players at this point. We're not tanking. We're not doing that.
Let me ask y'all this then. Let me ask y'all this. If the Bears come out and at some point in the season, Andy balls out and the Bears go 11-6 this season, make the playoffs, would you rather have that, or would you rather have the Bears go 6-11 and Justin Fields comes in somewhere in that point, Andy's terrible, you lose 3-4 in a row, and then all of a sudden Justin rattles some off?
If he's good, he deserves to play. If he's good, he deserves a play that does nothing but help, because now Justin gets to see what NFL playoff football looks like, how you prepare for it. He gets
6-11, you're not making the playoffs.
No, I mean, like when you said if he goes 11-6 and Andy's balling out.
I was gonna say that.
He said he's not in the right division.
If we go 11-6 and Andy's balling out, he now gets to see what a grown man looks like playing in the NFL season. He gets to see what that preparation looks like. If he has the right attitude about that, does nothing but help you as a young player, as a professional. It has nothing but help you if you go into it with the right attitude. If we stink, he needs to get his reps in. This would be the season to do it. He should be starting first game next season. No question about it. Andy Dalton gets his $10 million. Everyone walks away happy. It just didn't work out.
I don't think there's a question that Andy Dalton is starting, or that Andy Dalton in here next season anyway. But go ahead, Ringo.
I think that I hear you on if Andy's rolling, they make the playoffs, and Justin gets to see what Andy does in the playoffs. Problem is he hasn't gotten those reps, so I feel like that's still an issue. My problem with the whole statement is the fact that last year, Khalil Mack is on record in the Sports Illustrated article saying that I'm 30. It's time for me to.
That was this season.
It's time for
that was this season too.
Okay,
yeah.
so it's time for me to make the playoffs now. I'm not trying to wait.
Well, I mean, listen. To that, I would look at Mack and I would say, hey, look, you know what helps you get to the playoffs? Hit the quarterback.
Get to the QB.
But you said that one primarily on him, though.
No. I think I'm just saying he's the leader of that defense. You want to know what helps you get to that next level? Have the defense got to step up. Yeah. The defense got to step. The defense hasn't stepped up.
I'm saying
Mitch Trubisky looked like God. Now that was against vanilla defense, but Mitch looked like God. You know what I'm
saying? They have to win.
Was that Mitch Mahomes out there?
You funny.
I'm dead.
They had a playoff game plan going to a preseason game. Not really. They was just going to his first read and his second read. He looked like that first game. Mitch
His
played
first
like
and second
80
reads were
He was
open. You
playing
keep
Oh,
saying
wide
that.
open. Hey, look, wide
If
open.
your first
That's the
read
scary
is
part.
open, you can't judge the man. He threw what he was supposed to throw. It's like, hey, oh, he's wide open. Let me prove to Pat by walking down these progressions. No, tag him.
No,
Hey,
but what PK said, it's we are never not expecting playoffs.
Yeah,
we are never not. The only time it's not remotely geared toward going to the playoffs is if anybody is retooling or rebuilding, and then it still beat the Packers at all costs. It don't matter who is there. So it's playoffs or bust, because we are the most storied legacy team in the NFL, especially in the NFC North.
Whoa.
I don't know about story, dog. I don't know about.
Hey, listen, I appreciate your
our
love.
one ring.
I appreciate that, but that's cap.
Story. The players that have played for the Bears, are still feared. In their old age.
Name me the 2003 Bears.
Huh? You know I mean before 2000. Come on now. Stop lying.
That's what I mean. You know, when we talking about story, listen. Storied is the steel curtain. Storied is the 85 defense. I'd say storied is the 05 Bears.
Yeah. AD.
That's storied.
Realistically,
like that like
outside of
everybody
Lovey
around the
Smith
league know
Bears,
Briggs, you know Brian Urlacher, you know Devin Hester, you know what I'm saying? Like that 05 team is storied. You know Peanut Tillman. Peanut, you got 4 or 5 Hall of Famers on that team alone. That is a storied team. The stuff in the middle of that, only Cruz, the stuff in the middle of that is not storied. That's
you know
a story.
We are storied. You want to know why? The double doink is forever tied to us.
Oh wow! All right, here we go.
Hey, I have never heard the double doink used in any other context but with the Chicago Bears.
Hey, kid, it didn't exist before us.
Hey, listen. Rex Grossman.
I do want to say this real quick though. The reason why the mugs in the chat is so hyped for the Bears to make the playoffs and everybody's in win now mode is because this is the first time that like I can remember that like the season for the Bulls is like hella optimistic.
Yeah, we got a lot of stuff.
The season for the Bears is hella optimistic.
The White Sox, you know, we won though. We won last year. Yeah, Oakland, good game, good win, good dub.
I'm not going to address you until we get to the playoffs. That was my. You still got to win. I don't care.
This is a pause moment. Okay. But Rex Grossman did have a moment where people was trying to hype him up, but he was trash.
He did have a moment. Hey, that was his nickname, Sexy Rexy. Ain't no pause on that. That was Sexy Rexy.
Hey, listen, there was nothing sexy about that man.
Nothing. He was terrible. Throwing off that back foot.
Oh, man. By the way, real quick. No disrespect.
You need a mic.
No disrespect. Candace Park in the Chicago Sky.
Oh yeah, playoff bound too.
I was about to cut your mic.
Are in the playoffs. Like, hey, the city, like the city up right now.
Yeah,
the city up. Yeah. Like
the Bears can bring us down very quickly.
Yeah.
Hey yo, we gonna take a quick break. And we're going to come back, of course, with our fantasy segment where we're talking fantasy for the week. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. But before we let y'all go to the break, hold on. We got brand deals to talk about. We got to pay some bills out here. Ladies and gentlemen, I got a question for you. Are you like us, Bears fans who know they can run a successful franchise if given the chance? I'm taking Ryan Pace's job if the opportunity comes.
Facts.
Well, we've teamed up with FanDuel to give you the opportunity to put your GM skills to the test. With FanDuel being one of the premier sports gaming destinations in the United States, we realize this is the perfect way to not only team up with the Breeze Nation for fantasy football fun, but also a way to allow you the opportunity to win some cash prizes. That's right, cash prizes, cash money on the table. We'll be doing a weekly fantasy league. We're going to be calling it the Windy City Weekly Fantasy Contest. It allows you to win real cash prizes and compete against me and the squad.
Right.
It's simple, very simple. You pick your team while staying under the given salary cap, and if you pick the best team, you win. Not only do you win, but you win big. First place winner gets $100, and then it'll be tiered out with the top 25 at least getting their entry fee back. The contest will include all of the Sunday 1 p.m. and 4 p.m. slate games, and it will lock at kickoff. So make sure that y'all sign up now. To enter, go to fanduel.com/Windy City Weekly or click the link in our description below. Make sure that when you sign up, you use our link because this is a paid promotion. It does put a little bit of scratch in our pockets, and it helps us sit here and talk to y'all for a lot longer. Now, some of y'all might not want that, but just help us anyway.
Help us help you.
Help us help
bread.
you. Help us.
Thank you.
Hey, yo, we appreciate y'all for tuning in and rocking with us. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back right after this. The Patriots situation to me is interesting because Cam Newton is probably still the better quarterback than Mac Jones is. Even with all that we've seen, Cam Newton is probably still the better quarterback than Mac Jones is. But here's where Bill makes his decision. Cam Newton is not the better quarterback for the Patriots system, for the Patriots team. That team was built to be with a player that is Tom Brady. Like, I'm not saying Mac Jones is going to be that, but that is Tom Brady build, kind of stand back in the pocket. Listen, we're going to develop our O-line. We're going twin tight ends. We're going to have a lot of options on check down. Not going to be a ton of receivers out here just yet. We're going to get those guys. But Cam Newton needs a team that is built for, I'm a ground and pound guy. I'm going to be able to punch you in the mouth when I need to. Sometimes I'm going to be able to use my arm, but my arm is not the focus of this offense. Bill Belichick didn't want that. Bill Belichick didn't build his team for that. Mac Jones is the better quarterback for that system. To that point, Andy Dalton is probably the better quarterback than Justin Fields. And I want y'all to remember, because listen, we love Justin here, right? We all Justin hype, and I'm fine with that. I love him too. I want the man to, I'm trying to come out on some Stephen A. Smith stuff. You know what I'm saying? I talked to the brother personally. We've had lunch together. We have sipped wine out of the same bottle. You know, I'm trying to get on that level. Here's my thing with Justin. Justin is not the better quarterback because he just hasn't done it. If you look at that preseason game, the offense was horrible until that touchdown pass. I mean, it was like 120 yards to 36. But Justin is the better quarterback for this team the way that it's constructed, just like Mac Jones is the better quarterback for his team the way that it's constructed, because when you have a struggling offensive line and you think you at least have stability with Jason Peters at left tackle, that now allows you to say, hey, let's focus on the left side where Justin can't see. Justin can make a defender miss on the right side because of his speed, because of his style, because of his accuracy and his ability to make a defender overcommit, and now I can get a pass off. Andy doesn't have that ability. Andy's never had that ability. Andy's had the ability to be a pocket passer in a great pocket. We don't have a great pocket for Andy to stand behind. I'm sorry. As much as we can hope and pray and look at this offensive line is not going to become a top 10 offensive line over the next 10 weeks. Juan Castillo is going to have to allow a lot of protection and add a lot of guys into that scheme that takes guys away from Andy, which again is hurting what Andy can do, because now look, I got tight ends blocking.
The latest in sports talk content is here. Go to the App Store and search for The Contender. That's Contender with a K. We're your new favorite sports talk station with all your favorite teams, Chicago, and we're right on your phone. No more radio dial, just download for free, open to start, and set the app to allow notifications. We'll let you know every time we're covering breaking news and when your favorite shows are coming on, like Pat the Designer and the Windy City Breeze. Plus, we take your live phone calls. It's one big happy sports family. Follow us on Twitter at The Contender with a K and download the free app for your smartphone.
Yo, welcome back to the show. You already know what it is. It's your boy Pat the Designer back at it again. I know I had so many more friends. Now they on their way back. Don't need to worry about it. It's your boy Pat the Designer, as always, joined by the Brody Bro P Kid. Listen, this is my favorite part of the show, because this is the part of the show where we get to talk NFL. And there's nothing better than talking NFL, especially when you're talking NFL fantasy. So welcoming in to the show, the Fantasy Whispers, Big Travie and Johnny Game Time Hicks.
Let's go. What's up,
What up, boys? What up, boys? Football season is upon us.
Oh, Big Travis so excited.
I don't got the audio there.
Yeah, Big Travis so excited. He did this on our show as well. Yeah, he was so excited. He just couldn't. You had to mute him to hold him back.
See, it's what I do, because if I came in too hot, then I'd scare away the viewers. I just want to come in a little bit softer the second time. But yeah, I'm jacked, man. We are here. We're on the precipice. Tomorrow is the Thursday night football game, and what a game to have as the first game of the slate. We'll have America's team, quotation marks, versus the Super Bowl champ. Patriots, Buccaneers. So I'm excited, man. It's gonna be good. A lot of fantasy.
So used to saying the Super Bowl champion Patriots that it feels weird.
It's sick. It's sickening.
We just think of Tom Brady. That's the reason. You're just like, where did Tom Brady?
So listen, let me ask y'all this off the bat. What are the fantasy implications starting off on a Thursday night, first game of the season? What are you guys looking at as a big swing in the fantasy week that we could see in tomorrow's game?
We'll call it the Thursday night thirst, right?
Yeah. Yeah, so Johnny's gonna, we got to coin that phrase, Thursday night thirst, because usually this happens, but this is the biggest one because you've been waiting all offseason to play your guys. Yeah. You've been waiting on offseason. You've drafted all your guys. You're trying to play them. So let's say you snagged Antonio Brown late. You're begging and pleading to get him in your lineup this week. And what a matchup to do it. I mean, we saw the Dallas secondary last year just get shredded. We saw that when, Godwin, Evans, and AB were on the field, there was 8 games. It was a pretty decent sample size when all 8 of them were on the field. Well, Mike Evans and Antonio Brown tied in targets with 162 in those 8 games. So you like that for Antonio Brown. That's one of the ones I like this week. If I have him in my lineup, and I obviously didn't draft him as a starter maybe, then I'm trying to get him in my lineup somehow for another guy that doesn't have as good of a matchup.
Speaking of lineups, who do you have on your lineup?
Oh, yeah.
We mentioned that last week, and we didn't get to it. I got to get the lineups.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
well, Johnny, you want to start? We had our League of Record last weekend. We've been in that league for 11 years now. We drafted in Flagstaff where we started it in school. And, let's see, I went with Zeke. I went with Zeke, Amari Cooper, so a little bit Cowboy heavy. I also have Russ and DK, so some Seahawks in there. I also have at tight end Darren Waller. I punted the RB2 position, so I have like a bunch of backups for RB2 right now, but I'm trying to figure out who I'm going to put in there. And then I got your guy, Justin Fields. I know I gave you some props for getting him last week. He's a guy I'm stashing in a lot of leagues, even as a Packers fan coming in trying to get me a piece of Justin Fields. But Johnny, tell him who you got, man.
Yeah, I got Tom Brady going tomorrow night. I'm telling you right now, he's gonna minimum. He's gonna throw 4 tutties, like it's happening. He could even put up 5. But I also have David Montgomery. I had to get the boy. I love Monty this year. I got Myles Gaskin. I got Marcus Callaway, Deontay Johnson, Travis Kelce, Damian Harris, DeAndre Swift, my boy, and DJ Chark. I did get Kyle Pitts, which was one of my only shares of Kyle Pitts this year. But he just ended up falling to me at a great value. And so even though I had Kelce, I had to swoop him up. So Travi couldn't get him either. But so that's my team. I'm feeling pretty confident. I like it.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm leaning on Game Time. I'm not gonna lie. I like Game
Time. I don't know what type of league they're playing in for them.
Well, that's a keeper league. That's a keeper league.
Because
y'all said y'all been playing in 11 years.
Yeah, we've been in 11 years. This is a redraft. It's not a keeper. We are in a dynasty league, but this one's not it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought y'all was in the keeper league. I mean, listen, a lot of excitement on our end. I gotta ask you from a Chicago sports side of things. As you see this first game coming in, Bears, Rams. Who are the players that you're expecting to pop off? I mean, we got a lot of names in there. If you got the Rams defense, I'm sure people are expecting a lot. People out there with Allen Robinson. Some people foolish enough to take Andy Dalton. I'm looking at you, P kid. Who do you see as being
the guy? How do you throw shade at me and then ask a question like I'm not going to respond? Like,
first of all, because that's what a professional does.
First of all, you know what? First of all, I'm gonna clarify this right now. I'm gonna give you the Charles Barkley treatment, right? I did take Andy Dalton, but that's after I picked up Pat Mahomes and Russell Wilson.
Well, that's neither here nor there. But
you still draft him. You still draft him.
Who do you see as the guy that's going to tip the fantasy scales at 7 p.m. on Sunday Night Football?
Well, just to get P Kids back here, he's got to have somebody to drop in Andy Dalton. You got to have somebody to pick up that first waiver wire guy, right? You want to be able to drop somebody.
Yeah.
No, but in that game, that Sunday night matchup, you hit the nail on the head. Obviously, Allen Robinson, obviously Dave Montgomery are our studs. We're putting them in our lineup, regardless of the bad matchup against Jalen Ramsey and those boys in LA. They're definitely going to be a defense you're going to want to start. What we found over the years is when you have an elite defense, no matter if the matchup is good, and I'm not saying the Bears are some barn burner offense right now, but let's say they were playing a really good offense. You just still roll your big defense out there, because look at that Monday Night Football game that the Rams and the Chiefs had a few years ago, where they went off for 54 and 51 points each, and yet the defense has still scored big fantasy points because you have studs on each side of the ball. They can go get you a touchdown or get you what you need to get. So don't be afraid of the Rams in any matchup. I'd say you're always auto-starting them as well. I'm really interested to see this Rams offense with Matt Stafford. That's going to be the big question for me this week. Matt Stafford comes over, a perennial threat to throw for 5,000 yards every game, really used to this Bears defense. Yeah. He's seen it a lot. So he's going to have some things up his sleeve to give to Sean McVay to call in that game. And then on a further level, I'm just really interested to see what that backfield's going to do. What are they going to shake out with Darrell Henderson and Sony Michel after that trade? Who is going to be the lead dog, if any? And is it going to be a dreaded RBBC or running back by committee, which we all hate for fantasy football purposes? Or can we get a guy to establish himself?
I do think Sony is going to be the guy there over Henderson is what my belief is, especially looking at, the game plan and what should happen. Bears have a pretty solid D line. The way you can attack it is by, you getting those chips off of, the pass rush and then dumping it off to Sony. We know that he's really good at pass catching. So you could see that a lot.
No, my biggest question when picking my lineup this week is how much weight are you putting on good run defenses or good secondaries when choosing your wide receivers and running backs this week?
So this week, we try to say, especially in the first few weeks, you want to start your studs. So if you drafted him to be your starter, you're kind of rolling him out there. But we'll get a little bit clearer picture after 3 or 4 weeks of how these defensive change. We know there's a lot of defensive turnover. So just because the secondary was really bad last year doesn't necessarily mean that they didn't do the right moves or get the right pieces in place to make it a better or more improved secondary, which can drastically change your fantasy output. So for me, I think you're starting your studs. Yeah, you see a bad matchup. I mean, we had some guys on our stream today saying, bench Zeke, it's against Tampa Bay. They only give up 60 yards. But, the thing is it's Zeke. You're not going to bench Zeke. You drafted him in the first round. If you're scared, go to church. Like, let's just figure it out.
He said, if you scared, find Jesus.
Yes,
that's right. We're playing fantasy here. We're not playing patty cake. Come on.
If you scared, go listen to Donda. Banger, by the way. But anyway.
I do want to go back to that question if we could, Pat, real quick. Do you think Damian Williams is a good bench move? So I actually did pick him up in our league of record. Johnny has Montgomery. I picked up Damian Williams. So Johnny gave me that side eye when I made that pick, of course. But I do like Damian Williams this year as a pass catching role. We saw that they put Tariq Cohen, your guy, on the pup. So it's going to be at least 6 weeks. And I think Damian Williams, people forget, this is the role he used to play, was that Tariq Cohen complimentary pass-catching role. And now Nagy just loves him because he's the actual backup for Dave Montgomery. We're not talking a Cordarrelle Patterson or a Ryan Nall, an actual NFL backup that can come in. And we saw him spell, people or Kareem Hunt in the past. So I think Damian Williams is a fine end of the bench move. Your last guy you pick up, last guy on waivers, especially if you have Montgomery to handcuff him.
And the really nice piece of like fantasy advice for that is do that on Sunday and Monday nights. It's an easy way to get ahead of the waiver wire. And if you have a spot to burn, just crank out or just go and pick up the handcuff of whatever running back is going to and which one you like the most or is available. And sometimes it doesn't always happen, but every once in a while, the terrible stuff happens in a game. The lead running back goes down with an injury, and all of a sudden you just walked yourself and don't have to spend any fob or anything, and you got the waiver wire pickup of the week. So we highly encourage people to do that on Sunday night.
Huge advice there by Johnny. That's big. I'm looking at you, P Kid, with that Dalton spot. Just be able to drop him real quick, grab that, you know what I'm saying? Grab Damian Williams on Sunday night. If anything happens to Monty, you're just sitting pretty. You'll be laughing at these guys next week.
Hey, listen, that's exact. I had to find somebody that was serviceable, right? In case one of my QBs, because I'm also in a 2 QB league. So, and all the QBs were flying off the shelf. So Andy Dalton was the best one left. So
yeah, he's gonna be serviceable on that waiver wire, warming up that bench here in a couple of weeks.
You got it. You got it.
This question is coming from the Twitterverse. Somebody said with all the news we're hearing around Kareem Hunt being looked at and I'm sorry, Kareem Hunt. Good Lord. Who's my man to just hold on? Let me go look. I tried Le'Veon Bell. There we go. With all the news,
are you breaking news on me right here?
With all the news around Le'Veon Bell, I had to go look at the tweet. With all the news around Le'Veon Bell being looked at by Baltimore, what is the likelihood of taking this guy now, getting him early before he gets picked up by a team to try and get ahead of him possibly being a big part of somebody's offense?
So the interesting thing about the Le'Veon, I did do, of course, you got to do your due diligence, look up these players, right? A couple interesting things. Le'Veon still seems to somewhat have it. He had like 4.0 yards per carry last year. Very limited role, of course, but you look at that system, and that system would actually tailor to him quite nicely. Here's what was interesting, though. When they signed him, they didn't put him immediately on the team. They put him on the practice squad, which makes me believe that they have a little bit of belief in Gus and the other running back that they just pulled up off of their practice squad. So that's what you need to watch for this Sunday. Definitely look to see, hey, how are they using this guy? Because you'll notice that secondary running back will get work. And what we do know is Le'Veon Bell is a very good pass catcher, and that's where Gus kind of falters. And so it will be interesting to see when and if they do end up activating Le'Veon Bell, and he could have a decent market share on that team. You could get 23% rushing share, and then you're looking at like maybe potentially 10% of the receiving work, and we know how much they run the ball and use their running backs. So it's actually not a terrible play as far as once again, if you have that Andy Dalton on your roster, I would rather have that upside dart throw in a running back, because it's just a little bit more like we say, running backs become fantasy gold. And so if you can stash one of those guys and he ends up popping off, then there's potential. But as of right now, it's not looking too great.
Yeah.
For me, I had a question about my lineup again, because before
using this very personal for you. I'm just saying. Using this really for personal gain.
Well, if I remember Ringo's squad, he's definitely going to need some of this. Advice. So we gotta help the man out. We gotta help him.
It's all shots until I start winning, though. It's all shots until I start winning.
We'll get you.
Hey,
listen, this segment is just for you because you need the help, dog.
Bro, this is coming from the person. You have not played a game yet.
Hey, that's the question.
And neither have you, and you're already losing.
Hey man, look. Anyway. So before the show started, I got news that Austin Eckler was downgraded from healthy to questionable. Do you guys have any information on that to tell me what's going on? I didn't really get a look at that. And then, who is the one sleeper out of all the week 1 matchups that we need to be taking a look at this week?
I'll let Johnny answer the question on the sleeper. I just was looking at Eckler, and it looks undisclosed right now. So as soon as we know more, like we do a Friday show every Friday before the Friday before Sunday. So you're going to have your lineup set. He plays Sunday. You'll have time for this to kind of, work itself out. The good news about Wednesday misses is that they tend to be routine and the least likely to be worried about. So if he missed today undisclosed, maybe it was an illness, maybe a family emergency, whatever it may be, we're going to find out more by Thursday and Friday. And then we have a Friday live show. Make sure you're subscribed over on YouTube. We'll get that News and Nuggets show out to you and you'll know what you're talking about. But Johnny, I know Johnny's got a few of these sleepers.
He's a sleeper king.
Yeah, he's got them. He's like that backyard uncle. He's got a couple guys he's stashed for you.
I'm like, come over here, and I'll whisper them to you. No, definitely look out for Daimi Brown for Washington. Ooh. He is a stud. He's out of North Carolina. He's a rookie. They're saying Curtis Samuel could be out this weekend, which in that case, we've seen Daimi really take that wide receiver 2 role for Washington. He's a big play threat, can get off the line very quick. So that's definitely a guy that I'm definitely watching for this weekend. Another one is over there. Darren Waller, we all know for the Las Vegas Raiders, he is going to be the main vein for that offense as far as pass catching. Yeah. I do want to see what the battle is between Ruggs and Bryan Edwards. Bryan Edwards is a guy that, all the smoke so far from Las Vegas is that he's, that prototypical, if I could say that word, alpha wide receiver 1. And so you're looking for what John Gruden normally does in his offense. He can produce an alpha wide receiver 1. So I look for that battle. Some people are on the Ruggs. I'm on the Bryan Edwards. So I would look at that battle as well. And then the last one I'll give you, if you are in PPR, this is a sneaky snart, as we like to say. But in PPR, if you get Elijah Moore for the Arizona Cardinals, he's Rondale Moore. Sorry, excuse me. Rondale Moore.
Oh, I was about to say, I was like, he's going.
Rondale Moore, excuse me, for the Arizona Cardinals. He is going, I guarantee you, he's going to get at least 6 targets, and they're going to be the ones that we talk about, where like they're kind of cheap ones because they're right at the line of scrimmage, but it doesn't matter because it still counts as a catch, and so you get an easy point there. He should see about 6 to 8 of those, and then he's like a squirmy guy and could get yards. So I definitely think it's a
squirmy guy.
Yeah, so he is definitely a guy that you can throw there and throw in your flex, and don't be surprised if he get you 12 plus fantasy points in a PPR game.
I dropped Harris in both of my leagues and picked him up.
Damian?
Deontay.
Oh, okay.
I'm the same. So not Damian.
Yeah, you can keep him. You can keep him dropped.
Yeah.
I wanted
they really going at your lineup today, dog.
Hey, listen. You see the face change? They're like, why would you do that?
The panic that's set over us right now.
I wanted to get to this question real quick. I have my own personal one because it's this was up there. It's from the chat. With the current state of the O-line, do you guys think that Brashad Perriman would leapfrog to wide receiver 3 since he offers possession, receiver size, and burner speed? Maybe a stash pick.
So for me, the Bears outside of Allen Robinson and Montgomery aren't as rosy as I would like until Fields gets in and shows us that he can actually spread the ball around in a consistent manner. We know that Dalton's going to lock in on Allen Robinson, and they might use Cole Kmet and Graham instead there. I like Darnell Mooney if I'm picking that outside shot to kind of be the next guy. And so do I think he'll leapfrog to wide receiver 3 in this offense? Probably, but he's not somebody we're going to be starting in fantasy lineups. Not somebody we're going to be investing in heavily because I just think this offense has other focal points it's going to run through for the Bears.
Johnny, you agree with that?
Yeah.
No. My last question, honestly, is more about you all. Obviously, this is what you do, so I know that you roll the dice sometimes, right? So, what's the one pick that you kind of like were on the fence about? You made it, but you're like, give me that. I know you have to have that moment at least one time.
So, you mean all time or this season?
If you want to do both, go right ahead. Because you said all time, that means it's stuck out.
Yeah, we definitely have had some dice rolls, especially when you get in like our league of record, which we've been in, for 11 years. And these aren't people that see us as analysts. So these are people we're trying to beat. These are the homies. We're trying to beat them and beat them badly. So you're going to take some risks in this league. You're going to do some things. And it's like, so for this last draft, I told you guys at the top of the segment here, I punted RB2, meaning that I was not going to focus on my second RB as much as the rest of my team. A lot of wide receivers, elite tight end, elite quarterback, things of that nature. So I ended up with my RB2. My starting RB2 right now is David Johnson. So that's one that's like, I'm not really a fan of this pick at all. Like, I don't really like it. I don't like the way the depth chart's shaken out. But I know that he's going to be the pass catching role on an offense that's going to need to throw the ball a ton. And I know that there's he's been a top 20 running back, even when he's been bad, like top 25. So for me, he's a dice roll that I'm going to just roll with that I'm not very confident in. In the past, I've definitely had some dice rolls, but I think Johnny could speak to a little bit about, really taking risks and seeing them pay off and not pay off.
Yeah, mine for this year would definitely be that pick because, I'll be honest with you, I'm not projecting him. I've been kind of on the outskirts of this. There are many people that think he's going to be just unbeatable this year. I think it's going to take some time before he becomes, that dominant tight end that we really want him to be in this league. But the value, again, was just there. And so I end up taking him. And sometimes you just do that. And, I like to trade. So it gives me that kind of piece. And then I also look at it from a strategic standpoint and keeping that kind of piece off of somebody else's team. And that's where that part came in. But overall, I was definitely not really excited about getting Kyle Pitts there. But I knew I needed it to do what was needed to be done, if you know what I mean, in order to
You
win.
said you weren't excited to get him there. When did you take him?
Well, I took him in the 6th round, which is he's normally going in like the 4th or the 5th. And so I got him at the end of the 6th, but it was mostly a play because I knew the guy. It's also, we like to tell people this, know your league and who they like to draft and what they're generally thinking. It'll help you during the draft. And I just knew that Kyle Pitts was going to come off of the board in the next few picks. And I didn't want that guy to go to that team because it would have made his roster a little bit more appealing. And so I went ahead and swooped him up there when I needed to.
Now,
all time. Go ahead.
Well,
I'll say all time. I know this is where Big Travie was going with this, so we could just get it out the way and laugh it on up. But your boy was heavily into Mike Gesicki like 3 years ago when he went to Mike Gillislee, excuse me, when he went to the New England Patriots. And I was so excited about him. I drafted him in the 3rd round, which was a total reach, but I wanted him. And the sad part, I got so much crap for it. And then week 1 rolls around. Mike Gillislee, or am I saying? Yeah, Mike Gillislee scored 2 rushing touchdowns and a receiving touchdown in week 1. And I thought I was on top of the week 1 victory laps. And then it just all went down from here. So, everyone makes fun of me in our league for that pick. And, rightfully so. It was terrible.
I have one for a past one. Sorry, Pat, I didn't mean to hijack this one too, but I wanted to come back to P-Kid's question because I do have an older one. Remember when Manning first got to the Broncos and we all were talking about how he uses the tight end. Well, before we knew who Julius Thomas was, Jacob Tamme was on that roster, and Jacob Tamme was the tight end I was like all hyped on. I was saying, oh, you saw he used Dallas Clark. He's definitely going to use Jacob Tamme. Drafted Jacob Tamme so high in our league of record, and he absolutely burned me. And then I watched Julius Thomas go off for a couple touchdowns on opening night and just dominate that year. So, yeah,
that's definitely yours is worse. I'm not gonna lie. His is bad, but yours is worse because Peyton definitely could have used them and just didn't.
No, he did not at all.
That's more of a kick in the gonads.
Yeah.
Just to update you guys, and before we let you go, we were going to let you go, but now we got some fantasy implications. About 10 minutes ago, we did get an injury report from the Chargers. Austin Eckler did not practice with a hamstring injury. How does that impact him going in? Moving forward this season. Early in the season, you can come back from it, but if you try to play through it, hamstring could be something huge.
Travis right now is quickly going to the waiver wire to try to pick up.
Yeah, so Johnny, you can answer this question for sure.
So
he got to pick some on the show.
Yeah. Big Travis needs it desperately, so that's all I'll take over so he could do that. That's what we do on the show. Reach out for your brother. All right, that is big news, and I'll tell you why it's big news. Monitor for sure, because it could be on the low end. But Austin Eckler dealing with a hamstring injury, never a good sign because he's dealt with it before. That was what hindered him before. Yeah. So definitely don't like to see that pop up, especially this late in training camp on a Wednesday. And as well as the other bad part of this is it generally it does hamper into the regular season. We've seen this with history, with this injury, that generally if they kind of limp in with a hamstring issue, it's hard to get over it or not re-aggravate it into the season. And so it is definitely a cause for concern. This is breaking news on your show. So
and I will just say who I was going to pick up was Justin Jackson, who serves as the backup to Austin Eckler, who is probably the most electric other backup running backs. They don't really have a goal line guy, but I'd say Jackson's the best bet to maybe be one of the goal line guys here. And so I actually went and swooped up Jackson right now in our league of record while I let Johnny answer that. And but he's right. I do need it. Like I said, I punted RB2. So that's some good waiver advice though, as well for some of y'all.
So in this situation, hamstring, you just drop him.
No, we don't drop him. I went and picked up his backup in case that does linger.
I thought you dropped him for the backup. I was
absolutely
like,
not. No, I would never drop Austin Eckler. I will just say, well, I mean, unless he was out for the season, but Eckler is that first, second round pick, so you definitely don't want to get out there and drop him. Absolutely not. But these are the kind of moves you can be making to go swoop up his backup in case this does linger on the rest of the week.
Yep.
Appreciate you boys for always giving a great show. Facts. Make sure that y'all get in tune with the Fantasy Whispers. Friday, it's not going to help you on the Thursday game, but Friday, new show dropping, right? New show dropping, boys?
Yeah, that's right. So, Pat, you were kind enough to give us some bars here for our Face Off Friday show, a little bit of the intro to that show. We're partnered up with Underdog Fantasy, so we'll be doing some takes and some bet slips with them. And then if you're subscribed over to our Patreon, so that's Patreon.com/The Fantasy Whispers, you can join us for Face Off Fridays, which is an exclusive show we do over there, and we'll be getting you ready for Underdog Fantasy weekly. They have this thing called Rivals, so you pick between two players that week. Who's going to do better? We're going to help you make those picks and make some money with Underdog.
Nice.
Hey, y'all killing it, man. Keep doing what you're doing. We'll see you guys next week. I'm sure we'll talk in between then because after Thursday night, there might have to be some adjustments to the lineup, especially. I'm not saying, but and drop Andy Dalton.
Exactly.
I picked up Le'Veon Bell just now.
Yeah.
There you go.
Hashtag drop Andy Dalton. Let's go.
Let's go.
Hey, we appreciate you boys for tuning in, man. Y'all stay safe out there.
You too. Good luck, everyone, this week.
For sure. Thanks. Peace. That is the Fantasy Whispers. One of the best shows on the market. You got to get in tune with them. You got to show them some love. Man, that was tough. The Austin Eckler news is big on air because that
I need a minute.
Yeah, Ringo needs a minute. He's stressing right now because that is you were going into week one if you have him as he's a potential RB1.
Yeah. No, they helped me out just with that because I kept switching my receivers back and forth. I'm switching between just reports and seeing what's going on. So like that advice to stick with your starters week one, see what they're gonna do, and then it just going throughout the upcoming weeks is pivotal for me.
Now, the one thing I know that I really wanted to ask that I didn't get to ask is I always make a mistake on my defenses. Like they say, take a flyer on your defense, right? And so you change it week over week. I got New England starting, but I really think Carolina's because they're going against Miami, and Bill actually does well against rookie QBs and stuff like that. But the Panthers' defense overall is a better defense. And so I should have asked if I should drop the drop.
You know what? This is the thing. This is the thing. In that situation, me personally, I'm a ride with Bill, thinking that he's gonna get people in the right position.
Yeah,
I'm a ride with Bill on that one because that's tough. That's the I don't know. I can't go out there with the Panthers. I can't go out there with the Panthers, man. That's a tough one for me.
Oh my God! Darnell Mooney went from healthy to questionable. What's going on here?
Yeah, there's a lot of tough fantasy. Man, we had the Fantasy Whispers on, and now all the big news.
All the stuff happens as soon as they get off. What the heck is going on?
As soon as they get off of the show, man, we need them back. That's hilarious.
Hardman has an oblique issue. What the heck is going on?
Darnell Mooney with an oblique issue. Good Lord.
No, Darnell Mooney. He has an oblique issue too.
Oh, I thought that's what you were saying.
No, both of my receivers. So I got Hardman. Hardman as my receiver. He has an oblique issue, and Darnell Mooney just came up. It's they haven't disclosed what that is yet. I mean, I got a decent wide receiver, tandem that I can go ahead and I can just go ahead and drop Andy Dalton right here too. Boom, put him in there. Damn.
They clowned you. They clowned you so much.
Oh, I'm not worried about it because you know what I'm going to do? Exactly what I'm doing
so
now.
Much that you going to drop Andy Dalton?
Bro, he was always somebody I was going to drop.
Watch
hey, Andy Dalton going to get busy Sunday. Watch.
4 touchdowns.
Hey, so let's get, before we get up out of here, we're going to have a couple. We're going to have one more guest on. We got the contender in the building. But before we get into that, let's get our picks. We got to pick it up. I'm going Bears with a dub.
Facts.
I got Bears over the Rams. We know you.
Well, you know what I was going to say.
You going
all Chicago, hey, look, everything, all the time.
You did new Mike Ditka. Just grow the mustache out. Ringo, what you got?
I got Rams 31-17.
Yeah. 31-17. We get dog walked?
Yeah, because I don't know what to expect. I don't know what to expect.
You know what's crazy? He's not wrong. Like I don't know either.
I
just got that feeling
from the offensive line. Haven't seen enough from the defense, and I think Matthew Stafford. Y'all sleep on Matthew Stafford. Matthew Stafford about to come out and ball. Stafford about to come out.
I don't know anybody that's sleeping on him. We just
hope
the Bears win.
we didn't. Matthew Stafford's never been the problem. The problem is Detroit. Detroit is trash. Matthew Stafford good. Detroit is trash. Guess what? Now that Matthew Stafford not there, Matthew Stafford not trash no more.
But the one consistent thing when he was with Detroit, he would make a good play. But however, they seem to always make a mistake at the end and get a bad call at the end of a game. So I hope he bring that to
kid. Who you got Sunday?
We don't need.
All right, listen. I'm gonna do it like a real professional. I don't know about the rest of you guys, so I'm gonna go get the week one in its entirety real quick. I'm gonna spitfire it. Don't worry about this. Okay, I got this. Bucks versus Cowboys versus tomorrow. I got Bucks. Seahawks and Colts. I got Seahawks. Jaguars and Texans. Jaguars. Eagles and Falcons. No, you're a Giant fan. Never mind. I was about to rub that in. Anyway, Chargers and Washington. Chargers. Steelers and Bills. Oh, Bills. 49ers versus the Lions. Niners. Vikings versus the Bengals.
We thought about it.
Vikings. I'm going Vikings. Jets versus Panthers. I'm going Panthers. Cardinals versus Titans. Going Titans. Browns versus Chiefs. I'm going Chiefs. Pats versus Dolphins. I'm going Pats. Broncos versus Giants. I'm going Broncos. Easy money. Green Bay versus Saints. Green Bay. Easy money. All right. Bears. I'm gonna say that last. Ravens versus Raiders. I'm going Raiders. I'm going Raiders on that one. And Bears. I have winning by 3.
Hey, shout out to P Kid for being extra. Holty, Bears or Rams? Jay Holt in the building from the producer booth, y'all. Can you hear Holt?
Nope.
All right. There we go.
Hey, I'm gonna go with the. I don't want to be a homer, but I'm gonna say maybe the Rams beat the Bears 24-20 if Dalton is actually starting that game.
Oh, all right. I got depressing.
Hey, he said if Dalton is not starting, he has them winning.
If he is, he said if he is starting that game.
Okay.
We're gonna see who gets a pizza delivered to Andy Dalton.
Why Turbo going so hard in the comments over here? Turbo just going crazy in the comments right now. Jesus.
I mean, I can't even put that up there because of the language. Right, but I mean, I see you there. If no Turbo don't trust it, I'm gonna shoot you. All right, anyway.
Hey yo, so I'm gonna have you swap with him. We're gonna bring on, because we can't have a contender in the studio without actually having the contender on air.
Hey.
Got the bro Rob in the building. What's going on, man?
Nothing much.
What's going on? How you
feeling?
Good
to be in front of a mic again.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm only on vacation.
What's going on now?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it.
I see you. Now I see you. You're good. What jersey you got on?
I got a Hornets jersey. Don't make fun of me. It's got a Bears jersey. I know this. It's okay. It's not an LA shirt though.
So I'm having a good time on the set, man.
Man, listen, hey, look, it's a work in progress, but the progress is going in the right direction.
For sure. Well, on behalf of everyone, the Contender, James is back in New Jersey. I'm here visiting Chicago, so we're taking a tour of some of our Chicago programs. You're one of them, of course, and we were really looking forward to this one because you guys have been so important for us. You bring in so many viewers on YouTube. Your show is well organized, well put together, and we love that. You know what the funniest thing it was and Stefan, you were sick 1 week, but one clip that we just get a kick out of, because we chop your show up into clips and we air them throughout the day on the Contender stream. But you were out, you were sending up prayers up. But then AD, who just stepped out, was like, just so y'all know, it's worse than a cold, but it's not as bad as COVID.
I appreciate y'all for that though.
Hey yo, that was a bar. I forgot about that.
That made my whole day, though. I played that like at least 10 times. I played that at least 10 times, though.
Hey, listen, that man. Since we've joined the Contender, man, it really gives our audience a way to listen to us that they don't normally get, and so partnering with y'all has been. I mean, it's been a blast. The clips are hilarious. Y'all seem to find the perfect clip like that one.
We were laughing about that back home. Like that was great that James, I think, was able to pinpoint that out, because James is usually the one. We split up the shows. James is primarily the one because he helps with the phone calls and everything. But we love you guys. The other thing is, you very early on established that phone calls can work for us. You guys take a lot of calls. I think you got a great audience that is very loyal to you. Even on a Friday night for the Bulls show, people go out on Friday nights, but they listen to you. So, and when you said you were going to be on, and I think that was a pretty good show. But can I just let your audience know, because you hear Pat talk about the Contender all the time. And it is a 24-hour stream. We split between Washington and Chicago. So today is a Chicago day, and Pat headlines the day it is live. Your show runs in a live stream format. So let's say that you're you obviously your audience knows where to find you, but let's say, you know what, I don't really care what's on. I just want to turn on Chicago sports. Give it to me now. If it's in the middle of the night, sometimes our local radio stations are in national programming or something. I will just want to listen to Chicago sports. You head to the Contender. We're available on Apple and Android App Store. Download the app, and on Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and we hope soon Chicago 7 days a week, and we hope Washington 7 days a week if we could split the channels. But right now, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you go in and you get Chicago sports whenever you want. It could be your show. It could be John Segul.
Shout out to John.
Sports Talk Chicago. He actually has a music video. Did you see that?
I did on Instagram. Yeah, John is
using the auto.
John is going hard for the TikTok and the Instagram audience. Though.
And we might have to get everybody doing something like that, but we're not sure yet. But wherever you got it, we want to be there for people, and I think your show being very aggressive with the breaking news is so important for us.
I appreciate it, man. I definitely appreciate it. Like I said, teaming up with y'all is giving us a different avenue. It's always everybody, like, I don't know, maybe it's just me, but if you listen to sports radio, at some point you like, I can do this. All I'm doing is arguing with my boys.
Some people can.
I'm arguing with my boys.
Some people think they can.
Some people think they can, and some people actually
and it doesn't come out well. And I think what James and I thought about when we launched this thing is we wanted to find people who love it.
Yeah.
And whether you're not in it because you're an electrician, day job, correct? And James and I we're in the business in our own thing, but we don't think that's a prerequisite to do this. We think there are plenty of people with just a little bit of seasoning, and we've talked you through some skills, especially with hard times to exit the show,
Yep.
you know, and everything. So those are some broadcasting things, but we think those are things anyone can do. So, you know, I think, that I can see, Mike, I put that log together right there.
Yeah. Shout out to you, man. Shout out to you.
I'm looking at what I put together now, but we wanted to find the right people to do this. There are plenty of people who think they can and they can't, and it doesn't show well, but you guys got some energy. You know, you hear professionals, you hear people in the business say, oh, 4 guys talking with one another, how can they hear each other, you know? But if it works,
a lot of times we don't.
But if it works, it works. But that's what makes it fun. There's an order, but there's not an order to the show.
Yeah.
You just let the conversation go where it is, and I think that's what people want to hear.
That's so. Listen, we got to ask you while you're here. I mean, what's the next step for the Contender?
I was asking my next question.
You guys
are
the heartbeat of this thing. What is the next step for the Contender? How do we take this thing to the next level? Because as y'all can see, shout out to P Kid for getting the banner up on the right day. We are sponsored by the Contender. We are a part of the Contender family, so it is good to be here. How can the people, you know, what should the people expect from the Contender coming next?
We want to add more shows. We want to have more of an attention to breaking news, even more than what we're doing right now. Number one, I think you guys are going to help us with some Bears post-game shows, which is going to be helpful. Number one. Number two, we are trying to add talent. I think both James Flippin, by the way, is the co-founder.
Shout out James Flippin.
And it does a great job producing, and is a guy that I talk to like pretty much once or twice a day. And it's you know, we're close now in this process, but I would say that we want to add more people into the family. We have a couple shows in Chicago. We have a couple shows in Washington. Now we've mastered having those shows. We've mastered 24 hours a day streaming, and we've mastered getting on an app. Now we want to master getting more people excited about this. We're in talks with several other podcasters in both cities. We tried out a couple new shows from a national perspective to try and drag even more people in. We had comedian Dave Juskow in New York, who broadcasted from the
not
Comedian
bad.
Cellar.
I liked it.
You know, a little bit of a different take on football picks because they were making fun of everything.
Pretty much, yeah.
I respect it. And then we have Go With Your Gut with Joe Vitruba, actually a colleague of mine. He is coming on to do a little bit of fantasy talk, a little bit quick shot, only 29 minutes, only a half-hour podcast, just to give you what you need. Give it what you need. And then the other big thing is eventually, and I can't give a date. I think it would be inappropriate to give a date here. Our goal has always been, we want the city to be on a separate channel. We want Chicago 24/7. We want Washington 24/7. We need some more funding. Obviously, we will think about that. Is a cost. That is a huge cost to undertake. You know, we need to double the setups. We need another computer to run that. Might be a good time to plug that we're on Patreon too.
Also on Patreon, yeah, 100%.
So if you and the other thing is, we firmly believe in phone calls, and that's what I think you guys had expressed an interest in it. We were wondering when we first brought up phone calls. We were wondering whether, we're not sure if Pat wants them or not. You know, he just might want his show. You know, we love the phone calls, but we're not sure if he wants it. But you loved them. You love them?
It's to me, the chat is busting. The chat is always busting. I love my boys in the chat. Shout out Jay Crit, who all in the Dwayne Smith been going crazy.
Such an extension to your show.
We got P1s, bro.
We got P1s. You know what I'm saying? We got family in the chat. Shout out to the chat, man. But it's something about Coach T calling in, Jay Crit calling in,
right?
You know, where you get to, it takes you to that next level of like, yo, if I see you out, hey, let's grab a beer or let's talk sports. It's taking the family from being names on a screen to being people that we know, and that's really something that I really love.
And we felt that it was important dynamic. We feel that it's important to hear from the fans. It's a pulse for the fans.
Yeah,
and we are on Patreon. If you go to our website, thecontender.com, there is a link. We could use any donations that we get right now. We're trying to help improve things like the phones, help to get a second stream so we could get Chicago 24 hours a day. anything that you guys need, we're trying to get you a piece of equipment that can help so you could take the calls yourself, because right now they route through New Jersey back home. But we're so pleased to find you guys. Partnership has been great. We hope you're having fun being on. It's not much different. It's not much different for you guys. You're still doing your thing.
Oh yeah. But you know what it is? Like I've had a couple people tell me that it's about listening on the go. Like, oh, you got it, because we getting the podcast, back up to where it's supposed to be. But there's been a lot of changes coming. Shout out Holtzy. There's a lot of changes coming. A lot of changes.
Yeah,
coming.
I don't want to run over because I know we're coming up on the end of the show here, but. Thanks, guys, for letting me be on the set. This was so much fun.
Absolutely.
Just to see it.
Absolutely.
And you guys are doing great for us. We really appreciate it. And, for the audience out there, download the Contender app. You get Chicago Sports 24/7. We have the schedule out, and the Windy City Breeze repeats 4 or 5 times a day. We got other shows coming up. Push notifications are starting to come out a little bit.
Man, I be getting them. I like it.
We didn't get a chance to. I was in transit. I wanted to send out one for your show. I can't, but this is what we're trying to do. We're trying to get a couple more people that could help us on the production and do what we're supposed to do. But thanks a million. This has been great.
For sure, man. For sure. Hey, clap it up for him. Clap it up for him. Show him the love. Show him the love. Shout out to Contender.
Appreciate you, Rob. Thank you.
Shout out Rob, man. Shout out Rob.
Let's let AD come back.
Oh, if you want to, like. I'm not gonna lie, AD might get replaced.
Oh no!
We need to get James. That's the New York homie, man.
No, we got. You know what? The person who scores the worst in the fantasy league gets replaced.
Is that how it goes?
Hey, listen, Rico didn't laugh so much now.
Watch him flop though. Watch him flop. Yo, he is mad confident right now. Watch him flop.
Rico.
I'm gonna be here for it.
Rico.
I'm gonna be here for it.
I've picked so well. It's very hard. Like my team has to get completely injured for me to lose to you. Right? Like, don't worry about it. It's okay. You all laughed about my strategy, and now you're sitting there with the weakest team. It's okay. All right. It's okay.
Anyway. Hey, yo, man. We appreciate y'all for tuning in. As always, man. Listen, we got a lot of stuff. We plugged it earlier, but we're gonna plug it again. If you guys aren't entered into our fantasy contest, if you aren't signed up with the FanDuel family, please sign up. Hit the link in the description below to sign up, and then hit the link to join the league. Both links are very, very important to us because we want to play against y'all. We want to be in the game against y'all. And then as well, get in tune with the merch. If y'all haven't gotten in tune with the merch, we got Bear Don. We got the Bears merch in the building. Hold on, this the navy blue. This the actual colors. This the one Kid was rocking with. Hold on, stop playing with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Definitely get yours.
Because y'all already know this is the only show that's talking Chicago sports, hot Chicago talk. So get in tune with it. That link is in the description below as well. Ringo, let them know where they can find you on the Twitch, my boy.
Go find me on Twitch as Stefan the Don. I'm running Madden. I'm about to start running 2K. I'm 186 on current gen Madden 22 right now. If y'all want to get a game in, just hit me up and we can run it. We can run it. I know Kid be talking like he wants the spice. He don't really want the spice. We already know what's happening.
I'm an easy target because I'm the one person who doesn't play Madden. But I mean, you want it, 2K. You got it. Don't worry about it.
It's whatever. We can run 2K.
Hey, for the squad, man, it's your boy Pat the Designer. We got the man Mr. 2 Letters. We got Stefan the Don Line Wine, and of course, P Kid. Hey, yo, Chicago. Y'all stay safe out there, man. Peace.
Peace.